Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island UK, Season 11, Episode 21.
Listen, we are having a good time reviewing this show. I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
Yes.
Walk us through this.
All right. So we are on the dates. We've got Trey and Jesse who are here. So Trey is on a date with Jess.
Okay.
We learned that he is from Doncaster. And he's asking her about her situation in the villa. And she really doesn't have anyone that's come in that she has liked, but she is liking Trey.
There is someone that you like, and they just didn't answer your deadline.
Right.
And someone who you currently like. You know, the one that you keep playing around and saying you effing wish. You get what I'm saying? All those type of things that you try to flirt, but that person keeps telling you no. So hopefully this connection will work out for you.
Right. She's asked him what his type is, and he says brunette, nice lips, big boobs. And she's saying tick, 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 like I check off all your boxes.
I'm happy for you.
So we get to Jesse and Joey. We find out that she lives in London.
Okay.
But we immediately switch over to the villa.
Yeah.
So Harriet, Matilda, and Grace are talking. So Sean's heart rate was raised by Jess, but she laid him down and rode him. So Matilda isn't that stressed about it.
Okay.
Harriet doesn't care too much that Ronnie's heart rate was raised by Jess. Grace is a little bit jealous about Joey's date, but she does trust him.
Okay.
She's like, he can go on a date as long as he comes back to me.
Oh, well, he's coming back to the villa.
He's coming back to the villa, right? Ciaran and Ronnie have a talk, and Ciaran is frustrated because every time there's a challenge or a game, he gets the same reaction from Nicole, pretty much an overreaction.
Yeah.
He feels like he is walking on eggshells at this point. He has been reassuring to her, and he really doesn't know what else he can do.
Listen here, I've been telling y'all for the past 3 episodes, Ciaran, that you go get tired of it.
Yeah.
When you want a partner, if it's a guy or if it's a girl, you want a partner. You don't want someone. You don't want a child that you have to keep babying and keep reassuring. I want someone that I can walk with hand in hand and be like, you know what? You know how I feel about you. I know how you feel about me. Not every time we play a game, right? Everybody know how Love Island is. Every time you play a game, you get upset, and now I gotta talk you off a cliff. I'm not doing that.
Right.
You know.
And Ciaran's point was that Grace whipped me. Like, how would my heart rate not go up?
Okay.
I mean, it could have even be out of pain, not necessarily pleasure.
Who knows?
So Grace and Uma chat, and Nicole and Uma chat.
Okay.
And Nicole is saying that Grace is just so beautiful, and Uma is just trying to make her feel good about herself because she's feeling like Ciaran fancies Grace more, and clearly because his heart rate went up, and Uma is telling her like that is not true. If he wanted Grace, he would have pursued Grace, but he is solid in a couple with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Nicole, she kind of is a little bit draining, maybe more than a little bit draining.
More than a little bit.
But it really is frustrating to have to go through these conversations with Nicole after every little conversation or incident. It is kind of like, Ciaran, at what point is enough enough?
No,
or Nicole, at what point is enough enough?
Now is enough.
Yeah. So back to the dates. Jess and Trey are talking. They talk about his career. He's 24. She tells him that the other girls in the villa are nice, but I'm going to try to get them to stay away from you. She jokes, but halfway joking to me. And Jess tells him, just remember, I'm the prize.
What's your thoughts on this scene?
My thoughts are, Jess, you just are so heavy-handed with the way that you handle these boys. Like, it's like not like enticing or intriguing at all. It's kind of like you're laying down the hammer saying you're going to want to get with me and you need to. And it's just like, Jess, you're going to find yourself at the bottom again. I mean, come on, girl.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a heterosexual man don't want a man. You get what I'm saying? They don't want a woman who's masculine or don't have no type of feminine. Like don't give me, and maybe in that culture it works for them. Maybe it's like, I'm the prize and that's the line for that country. But if you're the prize, then like, why are you at the bottom? If you're the prize, why are you not coupled up with nobody except for Joey? And Joey be kissing Grace before he go to bed every night. If you're the prize, it doesn't have to be said.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Joey and Jesse are talking.
Okay.
Jesse's trying to figure out how things are going with him back at the villa and with his couple. And Joey says that him and Grace aren't in a couple, but they're still really into each other.
Okay.
But they are both also open and willing to explore other connections. And Jesse says that for her, she's pretty much here to get to know everybody. Joey is complimenting her, telling her she seems nice, she's beautiful. He's glad that she picked him. He even tells her that she's pretty much his type. And Joey is, in a way, her type. She didn't fully let him know that.
Yeah.
But Joey seemed pretty smitten by this date.
I find it very interesting that you said that we are both open and willing to explore, but then you yelled at Omar in the room about 2 episodes ago, 2 to 3 episodes ago, for playfully flirting with your girl, flirting to the point where your girl couldn't even say back to you what he said to her.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Joey, I think you are playing a dangerous game. The game already started with Samantha, first of all, of how like you basically got her out the paint by bringing on this ex, and now you're basically over here saying that I'm open. If that's the case, why do you feel some type of way about Connor being coupled up with your girl then?
And he has to go around saying nothing's gonna change, y'all. Nothing's gonna change.
Exactly.
Well, why can't Grace explore?
Exactly.
So Sean and Matilda have a conversation.
Uh-huh.
Sean was surprised that his heart rate didn't go up by Matilda, but he comes up with this reason, basically saying like my heart rate was up this whole time, so it just went up on the last person. Just some reason to kind of make light of the situation, and they end up joking about it. He asked her if she likes dressing up, and she's like, yeah, you know, I dress up and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I like dressing up too. I would dress up as a Power Ranger.
Get the boys off the island. That's all. Listen here, y'all know the motto on this channel when it comes to this show: get the boys off the island.
My thing was like, Sean, you asked her this question, what I thought might be like a little sexual, flirtatious kind of thing of, you know, what do you dress up for Halloween? Have you ever worn a nurse costume or something like that? But no, he really asked so he could let it be known that he dressed up as a Power Ranger. He just wanted her to know that for some reason. Pretty much. So, well, moving on to Uma and Will.
Yeah.
She tells them that he did well in the competition, and he thinks she did well as well because both of their heart rates were raised by each other.
Yeah.
And they end up kissing and are very happy with where they're at.
Yeah, I think Uma let us know that they are the only couple that raised each other heart rates.
Yeah.
Equally. I was like, what about Ayo and Mimi? But I remember that Mimi heart rate was raised by Connor.
Right.
So so far so good, Uma. It's good to see you opening up.
Yeah.
I love to see the fact that that Will kind of feels that effort being put forth from your end as well.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
You're not just sitting there like staring at him.
Exactly.
So Harriet and Ronnie talk, and she asked him, what did you whisper in Jess's ear? And he said, like, I just said, like, you wish, just like she did in mine. He just thought it would be funny. Ronnie says that Harriet was the main girl that he was into, especially during the splits.
Facts.
So it really kind of doesn't matter where his heart rate was going up by. Ronnie hopes that Trey is going to basically sweep Jess off of her feet, so that way she can have somebody and leave him alone.
Basically, take away this.
Take her off my
take away
shoulders.
this mosquito that keeps flying around my face. I understand.
Right. So Mimi and Ayo, we get a scene with them, their conversation.
Yeah.
So Ayo's heart rate was raised by Grace, and Mimi's was raised by Connor. He really doesn't feel a way about it. Ayo thinks Connor might pull Mimi next to have a conversation since her heart rate was raised. But honestly, neither one of them are stressed about it, and they kiss and are enjoying each other.
Well, actually, I think it was Grace's heart rate was raised by Ayo.
Oh.
Ayo's heart rate was raised by Mimi. That's what happened.
Okay.
Ayo's heart rate was raised by Mimi, right? Grace's heart rate was raised by Ayo, right? And in this scene, they was joking around. Ayo was joking around with Mimi, telling her like basically like, "Oh, your heart rate was raised by Connor." Like, what are you gonna do? Are y'all gonna go in the hideaway? Are you gonna go have a talk with him and all this? And then that's when she was like, I'm gonna take him in the hideaway and we just go talk, basically being sarcastic and things of that nature. And they just joked around and basically she's basically playing with him, saying like, you know, I'm gonna go talk to Connor, and they basically just have a kiss because Ayo was like, I want to kiss, and you know how he stares at her and things of that nature. And like, you know, I think that's their love language of basically just playing around, treating it like a game, not taking it seriously, you know?
Yeah. However, when we get to Ciaran and Nicole, it is very serious.
Yeah.
Ciaran automatically asks what's wrong, and then she's asking him what's wrong. And he's telling her, just because my heart rate went up, it doesn't mean that I fancy Grace more. And Nicole is like, well, yeah, it kind of does. And Ciaran's like, look, where do we go from here? I mean, I have been trying to reassure you this whole time. And Nicole is like, am I not allowed to be annoyed? And Ciaran just wants to nip the situation in the bud. He tells her that he likes her a lot, and he asks her what he can do, and she ends up letting it go. And they end up kissing.
I don't trust Nicole. I don't trust Nicole, and I don't trust Ciaran in this situation either, because I feel like he keeps putting himself in these situations that he just gonna get frustrated, and his head's gonna turn.
Yeah.
His head's gonna turn.
Yeah. I think they're pretty locked in, but Nicole needs to know when something is a big deal and when it's not.
Yeah.
And when something is out of his control. Like, come on. So Jess, Joey, and the Bombshells all come back from their dates. As they're walking in, Jesse is holding Joey's arm. Okay. So Grace already is kind of looking a little side eye of, what is this? So, of course, the guys and the girls split to talk about how their dates went. Trey thinks that Jess is his type, but he is into a few other girls, but he doesn't reveal his cards yet. Joey thinks that Jesse is really nice. There's some chemistry there, and he says his head is scrambled. Joey is saying that there was no awkwardness on the date. He learned more about her on the date more than he's learned his whole time here with Grace.
Stop right there. Do you believe that?
Do I believe that? I can believe that.
How is that even possible?
Because they learned a lot about each other before the villa. So I'm thinking that maybe Joey is saying that he hasn't learned anything new, or maybe he hasn't gotten deeper. But I don't think that's a Grace problem. I feel like Joey, if you want to take things further, you can initiate different types of conversation. So I think Grace and Joey were in the mindset of, we're good, we're happy where we are, we already know a lot about each other. So what is this extra digging deep? You know?
I didn't take it as that. I ain't take it as I took it more as Joey was slighting Grace. Not in a, I already know everything about her and I learned more. He basically saying
it was a slight, but I'm saying that I think that he was sliding Grace, but it's not her fault. I'm saying he needs to take accountability for his role in not knowing more if there's something he wants to know.
I think it was 100% a insult to Grace.
Okay.
I don't think it was anything nice about what he said about Grace, saying, I learned more about this new girl in 2 minutes than I know about Grace, or what I learned about Grace. Whole time, the foundation of you and Grace is that y'all know each other. Yeah. So to even point out that you know or learn more about this new girl compared to the foundation that you already have with Grace, why are you even pointing that out? That makes no sense to even point that out, because the whole point of you not choosing Samantha and Samantha going home is the fact that you know Grace and y'all are giving each other a part too. So if that is the foundation of Grace and Joey's relationship, why is he now slighting Grace, saying, I learned more about this girl than like I did about Grace? Like, how is that even? That's apples and oranges. Like, we know each other. Yeah. Like, there's nothing and first of all, there's nothing you learn in 2 minutes with this new girl than you possibly can know about me by us being exes and us getting a second chance to be together.
Yeah, their conversation was not that deep.
So so that's why I'm saying that whole statement right there was a complete insult to Grace. Yeah.
So as the girls are talking, Jessie is sharing with the girls her usual type, which is tall, dark, and handsome. But personality is really big for her. She wants to get to know pretty much all the guys here. Okay. Jess fancies Trey. Jessie says that, well, they're asking what did Joey say about his relationship with Grace, or where he was at in the villa. And Jessie pretty much gathered that he didn't really seem to know where he stood with Grace. And Grace immediately says, he does, but thanks for telling me. Jessie goes to the guys and introduces herself. We learned that she's been single for 3 years, but she was also in a relationship for 2 years prior to that. Joey is talking to Ronnie, saying that the sexual chemistry with Grace is up there, but there's something missing as far as kind of how they get on. He's like, we get on really good, but me and this other girl get on really good, and something with Grace is a little bit missing. And Ronnie is trying to warn him just not to rush into anything.
Your thoughts on that? What do that even mean to you, Blair?
My thing is Joey is just looking for an out.
Exactly.
I really feel, because as we're going to see in the episode, like Joey brings up how they never said that they were closed off and all this type of stuff. But that's why I felt like it was intentional that Joey never had that conversation with Grace. Because even when Grace was talking to Connor and Connor was like, y'all aren't closed off. And she's like, well, actions speak louder than words. I feel like she was saying that because Joey never had that conversation with her. And she didn't want to be the one to bring it up and try to box him in. So, I mean, yeah, if y'all don't put words to it, then that gives Joey the wiggle room to do what he wants, even though he's making it seem that he's all into Grace and nobody else.
You're right.
So
you're right 100%, Blair. He's trying to imagine me. I've known Blair for over 7 years, right? All together, right? Imagine me just meeting one of y'all commenters and just be like, you know what? I learned more about you, commenter, than I know about Blair. Me and Blair have the sexual chemistry, but there's just something about the way you say thank you for reviewing this show that just turns me on. Like it's all an insult.
Right.
It's all a lie because there's actually no foundation besides how she looks that you could go off of, Joey. You trying to play us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you just like the way that this girl looks, and you just can't. You don't have the discipline to be with one girl.
That's what it looks like.
And even though it's a girl that you was with, an ex, right? It just Grace was better than Samantha, and now you putting Grace against this girl,
right?
And that's basically what you're going off of.
So Trey joins the ladies for a conversation.
Okay.
He tells them that he picked Jess because they seem to have the most in common. He also wanted to get to know her more. Joey is telling Matilda that he learned more about Jesse than Grace. Here he goes telling more people. And I'm just like, it's going to get back to Grace
You still
eventually.
haven't had this conversation, yep.
So it's bedtime. Jesse feels that she may have pissed Grace off, so she's a little bit nervous about that.
Okay.
Grace says that she doesn't want to go off without hearing his side. It could have been a situation to where he didn't say it exactly how this girl is trying to portray it. But if there is a red flag with Joey's explanation, she is going to be off of him.
Okay, let's see.
So it's the next day. Trey made Jess some coffee. Joey is talking about how the date flowed so well. And Jesse and Trey get to talk, and Jesse feels that things are awkward with Grace. And Trey is saying, like, look, if he wanted to be closed off, he wouldn't have, or no, I'm sorry, Jesse is saying that if he wanted to be closed off, he wouldn't have given the reaction to Jesse that he did of basically, we're open and we can kind of see and explore. Trey likes Jess, and he can tell from the other girls that she's into him as well.
Okay.
My thing with Trey in this statement, I didn't gather that Trey is really into Jess. I think Trey can tell how thirsty or desperate Jess is to be in a couple. And it's nothing that he said or nothing that he did, but maybe that's just kind of my intuition or vibe of basically like Trey is kind of seeing how Jess needs him. And I don't know if he's 100% into that.
No, I mean, of course he's not 100% into it because he didn't get a chance to go amongst everybody yet.
Yeah.
So right now, I think Jess is just like, you know, you are the flavor for right now. Hopefully Jess does things and say things and actually put some action behind being the prize besides saying you are the prize. But as of right now, I think Trey just like, I'm just content with where I'm at.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So Jess, Nicole, and Uma chat, and Jess really feels like has a good start out with Trey, and he is really her type.
Okay.
Grace and Harriet have a talk, and Grace is fuming.
Help me.
Joey has been constantly reassuring her, and because of that, she's been more open to him and opening up to him. When he came back to the villa, she felt that he looked scared, and just the energy was off. He was being cold to her, and it wasn't a good feeling.
Okay.
Joey and Will talk. Joey says that, look, we never said we were closed off. He knows that she's open to explore other people, and if a guy started to talk to her, he'd be chill. He's like, what else can I do?
Well, I tell you what you did.
You were not chill.
I tell you what you did. You went and yelled at Omar, and Omar almost put them hands on you for something that you can't even tell Omar what he said to Grace.
Exactly.
So don't even try to act like, you know, we're open, she's open to explore. No. You made it sound like it was beneath Grace to talk to Omar. You get what I'm saying? For her just being friendly. For all we know, we can only take Grace's word. I'm not going to take it 100%. I may take it 70%, but not 100%. For all we know, based on what we've seen, Grace has done nothing but been friendly to the guys. And I told y'all, us guys, we don't know how to take friendliness because we don't go through the world with people being friendly to us. Somebody say hi to me out on the street, I tell them, no, I'm married. You get what I'm saying? So as far as we know, Grace has been friendly, and just the fact that she's been friendly to another guy, you was about to yell at another guy. So don't say like, what else can I do? I can tell you what you did.
Exactly. So Harriet is just like, look, he was so upset about Omar, and this girl is over here walking in holding his arm.
Come on.
Grace is really ready for this conversation with Joey. She doesn't want this stress and this anger to just linger all day.
Facts.
So Jess and Trey have another conversation. He's telling her she looks hot. She's complimenting his eyes. And they're both talking about how they both work out. They're both into running. So they have some things in common. They end up talking about how like he gets sore in his hamstrings and different things. And she's like, well, I would give you a massage.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So Grace and Joey have the conversation.
Listen up, y'all.
And he's telling her, look, my feelings for you have not changed. Just the situation isn't what neither of us expected.
Help me.
Grace wasn't upset about the date, but she trusted him to basically go and come back with the same energy. Joey says, you should definitely still trust me. He's like, I don't know if it's a friendship thing with this girl or if it's something else. Joey says to her, Grace, but we just haven't gone that deep. And he tells her, I still want to get to know you more. Grace says that we know where we stand with each other. And Joey is like, well, I'd be silly to say that I'm closed off. Grace says whoever walked through the door, she wouldn't be interested to get to know them. You keep saying we have something special. Why would you jeopardize that? And she's not going to be involved in any type of love triangles. Okay. Grace brings up to him how he went off about Omar.
Facts.
And Joey's like, he's going to explore this situation with Jesse.
He really can't explain that Omar situation.
Yeah, he has an opportunity with her, but with Grace, but he wants to explore other people. Grace is shocked, disappointed. He says nothing has changed between us, and Grace is saying everything has changed.
Everything has changed.
She is not going to sit around and wait for him to decide if what they have is special.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts is Joey did this on purpose. I mean, I feel like I said that once before, but I've got to say it again. Like, that's why he never told her or had the conversation about being closed off. Like, he never even got close to it. There were times where I think Grace was talking to him about how they feel about each other and where they're at. And he's always like, we're good. I feel great about us. But not once did he ever allow the conversation to progress to them being closed off. And it was for this reason right here, so he could do this. And I don't fault Grace for saying that she's not just going to sit around and be a sitting duck. Like, you don't get to hold all the cards in this situation. So, I mean, hey, Grace is coupled up with Connor. She could see where that goes.
That's my next question to you. What is Grace's next move then? Because her heart rate raised for Io.
Yeah.
So what is her next move, you think?
I think that she might be a little more friendly with Connor.
You think so?
I think she might.
I think she's going to allow herself to get eliminated. I think she's going to stand on her word of, I only came in here for you. And if Omar was here, I think that'd be different. Okay. I think she's going to respect Mimi and Io. Connor, look, if she wanted to flirt with Connor, I think she would have did it by now.
That's true.
For goodness sakes, he's in the same bed as her. Right. You get what I'm saying? But I think she's going to allow herself to basically, like, you know what, we go be together, we go be voted the least couple and whatever, and we go home. Because there's no way I don't see her going back to Joey and be 100% as she was before this situation happened.
Right. Because this is like the second time in their history.
So, but at the same time, I don't see her going, you know what, I'll show you, and being vindictive and actually, and maybe not vindictive is not the right word, but being like, you know what, you want to be open to explore, I'm gonna be open to explore. Maybe for me, maybe it has to happen with a bombshell. It can't happen with any of these guys from what I've seen. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha. How do you feel about Joey's reasoning?
Joey's just trying to find a reason. That's all he's just trying to do. He's just trying to find a reason to not sit down with Grace, which I don't understand. Because I don't see what's special about this new girl, to be honest. And I'm not even saying that the new girl's not special. I'm just saying we only had like 3 scenes with her. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
So Joey and Trey talk. Joey says that it's really only been this year that he's been ready to settle down. And then Jesse ends up coming over and pulls him for a chat before he can finish his conversation with Trey.
Pulling Joey, right?
Yeah, Jesse pulls Joey. So she is telling him that she enjoyed their date, but she can tell that it ruffled some feathers. He is not fully closed off. He's like, me and Grace have not had that conversation. He knows that, I know where we stand, though, because we are close, but never have we said we're closed off.
He's doing... What is my thing of
semantics with a side of lies?
He's doing a main entree of semantics with a side of lies.
Yes.
He's basically saying we're close, but we're not closed. You know what I'm saying? Like the semantics.
Right.
She knows where we stand. Did she? With the side of lies. Joey is just... Listen here. If the fact that you're not even going to finish this game off with Grace make us go justice for Samantha.
Right.
Because you came in here, basically planted this new girl that you was an ex to, just for Samantha not to have a real opportunity for a real connection. That's not fair.
It's not. So the girls are talking to Grace, and Grace is saying that she's not going to sit on the sidelines while he explores.
Okay.
She's like, this is what happened on the outside before. He was so into her, then he turned completely cold, and she feels like an idiot at this point.
That's why I'm like, what are you going to do now, Grace? The ball's in your court.
Right. So it's nighttime. Jesse was thinking that more people would be closed off by now. She says no one specific, though, as she's sitting right next to Grace doing her makeup.
Pretty much.
Jess is excited to talk to Trey tonight. She asks if anyone else is excited about the new boy, and Harriet says she is. I'm just like, Harriet, relax.
Yeah, understand something. I think Harriet just making sure that Jess don't eat.
Right.
Dude, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Ronnie and Harriet have an understanding that, hey, we like each other when it's convenient.
Yeah.
But when it's not convenient, I'm gonna go whoever Jess like, I'm gonna like, because big sis thinks she can little sis me. You
right.
Get what I'm
and
saying?
She's like, yeah, Jess isn't gonna get the upper hand ever.
No.
So Grace and Uma chat. Grace would rather be dropped than being in a love triangle.
Okay.
She doesn't need to be involved, or she doesn't need Jesse to be involved to see how strong her connection is with Joey. So they start this game called Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
And they start with a few questions about who has had sex in public places, then who has checked their partner's phones, who's cheated on a partner, and Trey and Sean drink to the cheated on a partner situation. Sean says that he was with the girl for a couple years, things weren't going too well, he ended up going out on a night and had like a situation which he says he learned from. So then we get the question about who slept with someone 20 years older. So Ciaran, Sean, and Connor take their drinks. Ciaran slept with a 48-year-old woman when he was 18, and people are cracking up. Nicole doesn't think it's funny, and Ciaran has to speak up and says, yeah, y'all can laugh when something is funny, just don't make it into a bigger deal. The only one who's making it into a big deal is Nicole, because you're going to have a conversation about this after the game.
Pretty much.
And then we get the who's never been two-faced about someone in the villa. And nobody's drinking at first. And Jess asks, is everyone being honest?
Mind you, Jess didn't drink either.
And I'm like, Jess, are you being honest?
Exactly.
Harriet says whatever she says, she'll say to anybody's face. So Jess, Harriet, and Ciaran all drink. Jess says, I would say whatever to anybody's face as well.
Harriet's making a face like, whatever.
Ronnie's talking about how he's had the best love triangle, but he's out of it. He's with Harriet now. Ciaran says that people make comments and they're nice to his face, but he's never really addressed situations that people have been two-faced about. And apparently Harriet told Nicole that she needed to be careful with Ciaran, then turned around and told Ciaran that he was such this great guy. Harriet's reaction is that when I'm talking to my friend, I can say that, and she calls Ciaran immature. He tells her, you're the one that's been second choice like 3 times.
That's facts, though.
And then apparently they didn't hear, or they needed clarification, and he said it twice. And Ronnie tells her she's the first choice now.
Kind of.
Harriet says F you to Ciaran, and Ciaran says you wish. Jess is like, look, if you're going to give it, you got to be able to take it. Harriet walks off crying. She can't take it, y'all.
Jess love crying. Jess love laughing and holding in that laugh whenever Harriet is in the middle of whatever controversy.
Right.
What I would say about this, I'll give y'all a little history lesson if this is your first time watching this episode. Harriet and Ciaran was paired first based off of where they was rated amongst the villa. So Harriet didn't like being rated last, so she was kind of stuck with Ciaran. She didn't really like it, but then eventually she started to like Ciaran. In the process of her liking Ciaran, Ciaran started liking Nicole.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So that, as we can see, that got her dropped from that situation, right? Harriet basically became a floating person, basically,
right,
to where Ronnie's have her, then Ronnie don't have her. During the time where she started liking Ronnie and things of that nature, Ronnie was paired with Jess, right? In the process, you know, Ronnie, or I should say Turbo, you know, is doing his thing. In that process, you know, Ronnie and Jess is no more, and then he's with Harriet. But also in that process, a new girl comes in named Tiffany.
Yep.
Right? In that process, he gets serious with Tiffany, Harriet get dropped. So now she get dropped twice. Right? Now she is back with Ronnie, and now Ciaran is basically twisting that knife and saying, well, you basically been somebody's second option like 2-3 times. He's not lying.
He's not lying.
I was more concerned or more interested in Nicole's reaction, or I should say non-reaction, to Ciaran's statement talking to her friend Harriet. I'm thinking if Harriet is talking to Nicole and Harriet's the one that is encouraging Nicole while Nicole is crying and things like that, when your man is going in on your friend, why didn't you, like, I'm not saying check your man, but basically be like, that's enough, Ciaran.
Yeah.
He basically just sat there quiet, trying to hold in a smile and whatever. That was strange to me.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, Nicole's closest friend is Jess, and I think that speaks volumes. Like, I think that they have a lot more in common than just they like hanging out around each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think they be talking mess and are just as negative as with each other as Jess is just individually. So I just don't think Nicole is really a friend to anybody but Jess, but probably not Jess at the end of the day either. So
what is your overall thoughts on this episode?
Overall, it was pretty interesting. I like to see the reactions to the heart rate stuff. I was annoyed by Nicole, but I mean, that's going to be her reaction to everything. So it's just kind of like, we got to live with it.
Yeah.
As far as the new bombshells, I don't see Trey and Jess's connection being that strong. I see Jess just really wanting to lock something down, but we will see how that goes. And as far as the Jesse, Joey, Grace situation, either Grace is going to entertain other people, but I still don't feel like her heart would be in it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if she just left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ciaran and Nicole is one fight away from being not with each other.
Yeah.
I think they're one fight away. And in that process, I think Ciaran's gonna go after Grace. That's my bold prediction right there. I think they are one fight away from Ciaran just basically being like, you know what, I'm tired of it. Because truth be told, I think he had all that heat for Harriet basically because he's been suppressing the heat from Nicole.
Yeah,
and things like that. Because I'm like, okay, we all know Harriet's been basically everybody's second option, third option, maybe even fourth option. But why are you like? I don't want to say attacking Nicole, but making it like a point to go at her. And I'm like, maybe you're really mad at Nicole and you just like taking it out on Harriet. I don't know.
Yeah, but I honestly felt he was right in that situation because Harriet called him immature. Everybody started laughing at him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had to say something back. He wasn't just going to sit there. So, I mean, Harriet, yeah, if you're going to dish it, you got to be able to take it. And she can't.
I'll tell you this right now. And you say something bad about me like that, I am going to make you cry now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, even though I think Harriet is probably one of the more decent girls, Harriet is two-faced. I mean, she was talking mess about Ronnie literally feet away from him. Then when he came to approach her, she's like, oh, don't worry about what I'm talking about. Why you can't say it to people's face? What's up with that? Why you couldn't say that to him?
Calling him an actor. But it is what it is. We will be back tomorrow with Love Island UK episode 22.
Yes.
We see y'all.
Bye.